Hey friends, it's Kristen here. I am so excited to come to you and share my favorite collection from Pampered Chef, and that is our stoneware collection. I am sure there are many of you that are watching that are stoneware lovers. I would love for you guys to drop in the comments your favorite piece of stoneware and something that you'd love to bake on it. But then I also realize there might be some of you that are maybe a little intimidated by stoneware because it is a little different than other things that you've cooked on. So hopefully I can kind of get you over the hump and help you get started using it. And then of course, I'm sure there are many of you that are brand new to stoneware. You don't even know what it is and why you should have it in your kitchen. So that's what this little segment is all about. And hopefully I get all your questions answered about stoneware. But of course, if I leave some unanswered, again, put them in the comments. I'd be more than happy to come back down and answer those questions for you. So if I forgot to say it, my name is Kristen and I am so excited to be here with you guys. Thank you for taking time to join our party. I know you're going to just be having a blast with it. And anyway, so stoneware, I'm thrilled to be talking about it. I have been using stoneware in my kitchen for over 35 years. Like I think it's actually closer to 40 at this point, but absolutely love it. I received my very first piece of stoneware. Here it is. It was a gift from my mother-in-law. She had gone to a Pampered Chef party. They demonstrated stoneware. She fell in love with it. And so she bought a baking stone for all of the girls in the family and was thrilled. Actually, I'll tell you, when I first got it, I didn't know what it was. I'm like, stoneware? I don't know what that is. And I got out the little use and care card and read about it. And I'm like, oh, okay, I was intrigued. But really, honestly, it wasn't until I went to a Pampered Chef party, it happened to be a couple of weeks later, thankfully, where the consultant shared like everything you could do with the baking stone. So in like the use and care, I was thinking like, it's just pizza. But once I learned a little bit more about it and saw the versatility of it, I was eager to get it out of the box, give it a try, and I have fallen in love and have been using it ever since. So anyway, so this is not exactly what you get now, but this is mine, like I said, almost 40 years ago. And think about that. Like, do you have something in your kitchen that you've been using for almost 40 years? And like literally, I use that a couple times a week, if not daily sometimes. And at Christmas, when it comes to cookies, I have like all my stoneware out. So anyway, so let me take you through stoneware so you can see why I'm so excited about it. And hopefully that you can get some in your kitchen to be equally excited. So first off, what is stoneware? So it is made out of 100% natural material. So it's not like Teflon coatings and all the chemicals and all the scary stuff. It is ceramic, 100% natural materials, clay, stone, or some different words that you hear, but 100% natural. The other thing that's great about our stoneware is that it's made here in the United States. And so we have very high standards for the clay or for the material that's being used, and there's no lead in it. So if you're buying stoneware, like you see some cheap stone at Walmart or whatever, and you get that and it wasn't made in the United States, chances are there could be some lead in that clay. Of course, you don't want to be cooking on that, but also that keeps it from being able to be used in the microwave. So our stoneware, because it is lead free, can be used in the oven and in the microwave. So again, there's part of your versatility why you're going to absolutely love stoneware. Let me see, read my notes, make sure I'm not missing anything. So anyway, so like I said, versatility of where you're going to use it. Also, we have what we call new stoneware. It's called Stone Fusion. Came out in about 2021, 2022. It was during COVID. We changed the formulation on our clay to make it even more durable, even easier to use, even easier to clean. So let me talk first a little bit about that, just the two different collections. So if you have what I call old stoneware, you bought it prior to COVID, that had some rules. Like you can only clean it with hot water, it can be oven and microwave only, but that was kind of it. Like you couldn't preheat it and put it on the broiler, things like that. With our new Stone Fusion, so again, if you have these wavy lines on the back of your stoneware, that means it's the new stoneware. Again, came out during early COVID. So that's kind of where my mental is where I can remember when that came out. But this is even more versatile, more durable, and easier to use, easier to clean. So first off, oven and microwave still, as we had talked about, but now this can be preheated. That was kind of one of the no-nos with the old stoneware, but with this, you can preheat it, which makes it that much easier. Like if you're doing pizzas, you're gonna get that much better of a crust on it, nice crispiness, whatever. So if you're doing like mainly pizzas when I preheat it, but anything that you really want that nice crisp crust, you want it nice and hot before you start using it, preheating is okay. If you have what I call the naked or the unglazed stoneware, as I'm showing here, you can also put it under the broiler. That was a no-no with the old stuff, but now if you want to put like some cheese on top of something, pop it under the broiler, get it all melty and crispy on top, you can do that now with this. And then the best thing about the new stoneware, Stone Fusion with the wavy lines, is that cleanup is even easier. It goes in the dishwasher now. So those of you that are like, if it doesn't go in the dishwasher, it doesn't belong in my kitchen, well, now you got it. Get that stoneware in your kitchen because you can clean it up in the dishwasher and you're gonna absolutely love it. The other thing is too, is because it can go in the dishwasher, obviously you can put some soap on here too. So how many of you old stoneware lovers, you know, husband, kids, somebody was helping you out with the dishes and they put soap on your stone and you thought it was ruined? Well, first off, let me tell you, it's not ruined. But now that's okay. Don't worry. Like, people can help you with the dishes. They can all clean up your stoneware for you and they're not going to do any damage to it. So anyway, so that's kind of the new versus the old stoneware. Anything that you're purchasing today with this party is going to be the new stoneware. So all the new rules apply to that. And I say, actually, it's almost like no rules because now there aren't rules. It's like so much easier to use. So anyway, so that's Stone Fusion. But bottom line is, that stoneware is going to be a workhorse in your kitchen. So let me kind of take you through it. So first off, we talked about unglazed, naked stoneware. So there's no glazing, it's just the clay. And then we have pieces that have the naked surface here. So this is like your regular stoneware, but it has a pretty glaze on it so that it makes it prettier for serving. So those are kind of the two different parts of this collection. I'm going to kind of go through them one and one with you. So anyway, unglazed, workhorse of your kitchen. First off, we have, let me start with the pizza stone because that's what when people think of stoneware, they think pizza stone. And of course, that's what this is. So you can see, now look at how dark that is. It started really light in color like this. The more you use it, the better it cooks. The uglier it is, the better it cooks. You want it to get this ugly. This is a natural non-stick surface. So when you think non-stick, you think you have to be careful. No knives, no metal utensils, whatever. No, 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 no. This is a natural seasoning. And so you can use your metal pizza cutter to cut up your pizza. You can use metal spatulas to get your cookies off the tray. All of that is okay. You can see how there's like not many rules with this. It's like everything is okay. So anyway, so the large pizza stone is this. This is a 15-inch diameter from here to here. There's also the medium. It's a 13-inch diameter. And then the personal, which is a 10-inch. So kind of depending on how big your family is, pizza night, maybe you want to do pizza night where everybody gets to make their own pizza. Get a couple of those personal stones and then everybody can make their own. Or get a couple of big ones and make, you know, have pizza night that way. So again, versatility. Pizza, number one thing that people think about with cooking on stoneware, but did you know there's so much more you can cook on this? You can, my favorite is cookies. I love, love, love baking cookies on here. So think back to when you had metal pans that you were baking cookies on, or maybe that's you today. And that a lot of times, like when you're looking in the oven, they look beautiful, golden brown on top, but by the time you pull them out of the oven, they sit on the pan for a few minutes. Guess what? They've gotten kind of too dark on the bottom, maybe even burned. Or maybe you're like my mother. My mother always, always, always forgot the last batch of cookies. She'd put them in and then she'd go about her day and she'd forget them and they'd burn. So they became doggy cookies in my house. Well, no more doggy cookies in my house because I do my cookies on stoneware. If you happen to overbake them, they're going to get a little crunchier, but they're not going to burn. So, I mean, literally, like you can really overbake it and still have great results with this. Back to what I was talking about with their golden brown on top. Guess what? They're the same golden brown on the bottom. You're going to have the best, delicious cookies. Light and crispy on the outside. The center is still going to have a little bit of moistness to it. Or again, bake it a little bit more and it won't if you like a really crisp cookie. So anyway, so pizza. Cookies we talked about. This is basically a sheet pan. So you could do chicken breasts and pork chops and all your convenience foods, your French fries, your pizza pockets, your frozen chicken wings, like things like that. So any of those convenience foods do great on here. The one thing that I remember when I first started using stoneware that I loved about convenience foods, if you ever read the instructions for, like, say, French fries, frozen French fries, put them on your baking sheet. They have you cook for 30 minutes and they have you flip it halfway through, right? Everybody, maybe you didn't read the directions, but that's what the directions say. And the reason is because that top is getting nice and crispy, but all those ice crystals are melting. And now if you're on a metal sheet pan, all your food is sitting in water and it's getting soggy and it's not getting crispy. So you have to flip it so that you're gonna get that nice and crispy on top. Well, guess what? With stoneware, no flipping. It's gonna come out great because it's porous. It's gonna be kind of drawing the water, the ice crystals away from the food and almost like evaporate away. So you're cooking on a dry surface. So you're gonna get it nice and crispy on the bottom, nice and crispy on top without having to flip it halfway through. So really, you know, when I think about it, cooking on stoneware really turns your oven into an air fryer. So back in the day when I got this 40 years ago, there were not air fryers. So if I wanted that air fryer crispiness of my convenience foods, I had to do it on stoneware. And that's why I still do. So anyway, so again, if you want that air fryer goodness from, you know, convenience foods, stoneware is great for that. And then my other favorite thing, roasted vegetables. I hate boiled or microwave vegetables that get like too soggy. I love the crispness of doing roasted vegetables. So roasted vegetables, roasted potatoes, homemade French fries, all of those things come out great because they're going to cook evenly. They're going to get a nice little crispness to them. And then of course, cleanup is super easy. Okay, so all of those things that I talked about, and there's probably more, but that's where my brain's going. That's my favorite things. You can do on your pizza stone, small, medium, or large, whichever size you need for your family. But really, to even get even more versatility with something like that, let me move this aside, is the bar pan. So everything I just talked about, pizza, it's going to be rectangle versus round, but cookies and the roasted vegetables and the convenience foods and all that does great on a bar pan. And what's nice is, do you see this lip here? That keeps it on your pan. So like as you're putting it in the pan, if you kind of tilt it a little bit, you're not going to have to worry about your tater tots rolling off and going into the oven or onto the floor. So I really like this versatility of having this. This also makes it really easy to handle, and it also expands your use into making a sheet cake, making your brownies, doing bar cookies, things like that. Anything that's gonna, you know, if it's flat, you know, it needs a rim to hold the cake in. This is where the bar pan is gonna get even better. Oh, I did forget one thing. Let me bring back the pizza stone. Back from my first stone that I showed you that has no handles on it, those of you that bought stoneware years and years and years ago, the nice thing is now that even the pizza stone has these built-in handles here, and it just does make it easier to get that pizza in and out of the oven, or get the stone in and out of the oven. Let me back up too. One other tip I forgot to share. This has a little bit of a rim on the outside, not as big as the bar pan, but there is a little bit of a lip there. And that's really handy if you got this in the oven and you're preheating to make your pizza. Have your pizza on your pizza stone and then you go to shoosh it in the oven. This helps that if you happen to shoosh it too hard and that pizza's gonna go flying, this catches it. So it keeps it on the stone. So I forgot to mention those two little features, but that is part of stoneware as well. But anyway, back to the bar pan. So again, I just like the versatility because everything the pizza stone plus some. So bar pan is a workhorse in your kitchen. Also comes in small, medium, and large. And I wanted to share with you guys the small one because this fits, of course, in the Pampered Chef air fryer oven, but other toaster ovens, other air fryers that are on the market, this little piece will fit in there. So you can get the great properties of baking on stoneware, but in your air fryer or in your toaster oven. So love that little pan for that. So, okay, so those are kind of the basics. I think the pizza stone and the bar pans are your workhorses, but let's go into a couple other pieces. We also have a loaf pan, but for me, you know, again, I do bake some bread. You're gonna get a nice crisp crust on it. You're gonna get a high rise. I remember when I first got my stoneware pan, I have a recipe that makes 2 loaves of bread. So I had to make it in my old pan, and then I made a loaf in here. It rose higher, it had a crispier crust, it had a moister center. Everything was better about that loaf of bread. And really, I can tell you that about anything you cook on stoneware is gonna just taste better. So it's just, I say it's Pampered Chef magic or stoneware magic. So anyway, it's gonna taste better. But not only does this do breads, this makes meatloaf. This does like a little casserole dish. You can make dips and appetizers and things like this in here too. So don't let the name like the pizza stone or the bread pan or the loaf pan like make you think that you're locked into just that thing. It really is very, very versatile. Anyway, so we have that. And then a newer piece that we have, which I'm absolutely loving, is this small oven baking stone. So this was designed for our air fryer and oven, but of course you can use it in any oven. You can use it probably in other air fryers if it fits. But also too, if you do a lot of camping, you're in an RV or something and you have a small oven, this is gonna fit in there beautifully. So you can, same thing, you can get all those great things you love about cooking on stoneware even while you're camping. So anyway, so I love that piece as well. Now with these, I've been talking about it being a workhorse and you know, you're gonna need all these pieces. I love that Pampered Chef has put together what we call the starter set. And it is the pizza stone and it is the bar pan, the large pizza stone, large bar pan, and the loaf pan. It gives you so much versatility in your kitchen. So if you're new to stoneware, you're like, I don't know where to start. I don't know what piece I want. Everything you're telling me is everything that I want. This starter set is the way to go. So I really encourage you to look into that. It's also a great way if you're looking for some gifts, get the starter set. They're all boxed up separately. So you can get 3 pieces of stoneware with one purchase. And then you can go ahead and give, you know, your daughter one piece and your son-in-law another piece and, you know, whatever. And then that way you have a couple of gifts as well. So love that starter set for that reason. So anyway, back to, I made the comment, everything tastes better on baked on stoneware. That is a fact. And let me come back to, again, I keep putting this away, but I need to keep talking about it, is the pizza stone. Did you know Doris Christopher, the founder of our company, who did the very first cooking show, she baked on stoneware, the pizza stone. So like the first one that I showed you, the one that I've had for so many years. She baked on that pizza stone at her very first party, a frozen pizza. So she showed how baking on stoneware just makes everything taste better. And I will tell you, I have tested that. I mean, how many, you know, again, I had little boys that ate a lot. I bought the dollar pizzas at, you know, King Soopers is our grocery store. And I, you know, they'd be 10 for $10 and I'd stock up on those and that'd be their after school snack. And when you bake it on like a yucky metal pan, it tastes like cardboard, right? I was hoping, oh, my kids won't notice. Well, you know what? They did once they tasted it baked on stoneware. So then I got my stoneware, I baked their pizza on here and like, wow, this tastes better. And so it is a fact. The crust is gonna be better. It's just gonna taste better. And again, Pampered Chef magic. But anyway, so even something like frozen pizza, and again, Doris Christopher at our very first Pampered Chef party cooked frozen pizza on here, showed people how you can make convenience foods taste better. So there's testimony to everything tastes better. Okay, so that is the unglazed collection, and again, true workhorse in your kitchen. But I'm going to move now into the partially glazed collection, and with that, you're going to get the workhorseness of, you know, baking on stoneware. But you're going to get, it's going to be a little bit prettier for taking it to the table. So again, think about making your pizza on here. Here's your pizza all covered up and pretty, but now this part is going to be what people see and it's going to be a little bit prettier. Plus you have that lip on there. So if you want a pretty pizza, you got the white stone there. Then we also have a pie plate. I love this. It's not pretty. I love the little twisties there at the top. But again, pie, I don't make that much pie, but you know what I do make in here? Casseroles. This is great for baked beans. It's great for scalloped potatoes. It's great for your green bean casserole. You can do any of those things in here. And with this pretty little edge, it looks so, so pretty. So we got that. That's another piece that I'm loving. We have the round baker. This has been in part of our collection since day one as well. So Pampered Chef is celebrating its 45th anniversary this year. And guess what? The pizza stone and the round baker, not glazed like this, not pretty, but this shape was in the very, very first catalog. So that's how much these pieces are loved by people, is that we have been, you know, cooking on them forever, and people just, this is what they think of when they think of Pampered Chef. So this round baker is a cake plate. It's another casserole dish. You can bake chicken breasts in here and pork chops and vegetables. I mean, really, again, the list goes on and on and on, but that's another favorite of mine. Then we have some covered pieces, and these are really special because when you have a cover on your stoneware, so I'm going to bring in another piece here, it's like almost creating like a little clay oven inside of your oven or inside of your microwave, and you're going to get tremendous results. So let's first talk with this pan. This is your 9x13 rectangle baker. 9x13 pan, right? Every kitchen has one. It's so versatile. It is your, it's your casserole pan, your lasagna pan, your chicken and rice pan, all those different casseroles you make. It's your cake pan. It's your brownie pan. You can do all those things in here, but also too, go ahead and roast some vegetables, do some potatoes in here. You can do all those things in here. Gonna cook evenly. It's gonna be easy to clean. You're just gonna get that great flavor marrying up. And then to really help those flavors marrying up, it has a lid. Now you can purchase this with or without the lid, but what the lid does is, first off, lasagna. My recipe says to cover with foil, right? You can do that, of course, with stoneware, but with this lid, I don't have to do that. So it just makes it really easy. Put the lid on. I'm not wasting foil and having to use that time after time. This lets you just, you know, continue to use that. It kind of locks in all those flavors, kind of marries everything up. but it also gives you a second cooking surface. So think about doing some garlic knots with your lasagna. Maybe you want to do some roasted vegetables with your chicken and rice casserole. So you have a second cooking surface that you can use. So this is stoneware, so there you can see on the bottom, but it has the pretty glazing all on the top. Now you can also just use this tray all by itself. Stoneware is great for heat retention. So if it's something hot, like in your casserole, it's going to stay hot for a while you're serving it, or while everybody's eating it. But it also will keep things cold too. So you can freeze or refrigerate this tray. Put your charcuterie board on here. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to stay nice and cold and chilled. It's beautiful. You can use it just for that. Or it's a baking sheet all by itself. So think about when you're having a party and you have appetizers. You cook them on your metal pan or whatever pan you have, and then you transfer it to your serving dish, right? Do it all on one. You can bake on here, you can serve on here. It's gonna stay hotter because it's that warm pan that's going to your serving table. And then of course it's easier to clean up. You only have one pan to clean up. So much versatility again as with that. So again, I highly recommend getting this as a set so that you have kind of two different baking pans, but together they're magic, individually they're magic. It is totally wonderful. Okay, and then another favorite of everybody's is the deep covered baker. This has had a couple different colors. Some of you might have the red one, you might have a taupe one, you might have a gray one, but they all cook beautifully. This is the current version, and it is a covered casserole. Really pretty much the same capacity as this, but as you can see, it's a little bit smaller. So like, let's say you wanted to make lasagna in this pan, I go an extra layer deep so that I can do my whole recipe in here just because it's a little bit smaller. But what's great about this is, because of its smaller size, is that it fits in most microwaves. And so really all those things that you would do in the oven, you can do like in half the time in the microwave. And that includes cooking chicken, cooking meat, any kind of meat, things like that. And I know a lot of people, when I'm like at my parties and I start talking about cooking chicken in the microwave, I kind of see the ick factor. They're like, well, I don't know, I don't think I'm gonna eat that. But oh, let me tell you, when you're cooking in here, it's like a little clay oven, the flavors all marry up, the juices all marry up. It is just absolutely delicious. And I even do a lot of batch cooking in here. I'll do a couple pounds of chicken, about 15, maybe 18 minutes, depending on how much it is, and in the microwave, get that cooked, get that chopped up. And then that goes in all my meals for the week. It can go in a salad, it can go in a casserole, it can go in my pastas. So you can do a lot of batch cooking in here, as well as cooking your casseroles, cooking your brownies, cooking your cakes in the oven, half the time in the microwave, and super easy cleanup. So anyway, so that is a little bit about all the different pieces, all the different collections. I know that was a lot. If you have questions, please ask. If you have a favorite, as I had said, please drop that in the comments so we can all learn from each other. And I promise you, I will probably learn from you too. So I'm super excited by that. Last thing I want to share with you guys real quick is cleanup. As we talked about, it goes in the dishwasher, so that's the easiest way to clean up. But if you don't want to put it in the dishwasher, if you really kind of want it to season up a little bit better, I do still recommend hand washing it. It's going to come with one of these. It's called a nylon pan scraper. And so with using this, all you do is let your stoneware cool to room temperature, and then you're going to go ahead and just run it under some hot water with your scraper, kind of scrape any food particles off of there, because you don't want the food setting on there. That's going to be like yucky for long term. Scrape off all the food particles. But then any residual oil or anything on there is going to be okay, and that's going to be what's going to help season it up. Now, some of you might have a stone that maybe you didn't clean up so well, and now you're like, I kind of want to deep clean it. How do I do that? Make a baking soda paste. So just take some baking soda with a little bit of water, so it's a paste, and rub that on your stoneware, maybe with a kitchen brush even, and kind of brush that. And then let it set for about 15 minutes, and then go ahead and rinse that off. And that's going to get a lot of the residual whatever food and oils and stuff off the stone, and it's going to go ahead and kind of clean that up a little bit for you. So I wanted to share those cleaning methods with you as well. Oh, one other tip that I almost forgot is when you're cooking with stoneware, one thing that's really important is that you want to cover the surface as much as possible. We recommend covering 2/3 of the surface with food so that, number one, it cooks evenly, and also it prevents your stone from breaking. So one thing that stoneware doesn't like is what's called like a temperature temperature inversion where the stone's getting hot, but it's not covered with food. Like you might just have like a chicken breast in the middle of the pan, and then the whole rest of the big stone is getting hot. That could cause it to break. So when you're thinking about the size of your family, if it's a small family, go with a smaller piece. Because if you did like one chicken breast on here, that's fine. Because again, it's pretty much going to cover the whole surface of the pan, or at least 2/3 of it, as opposed to if you were to put one chicken breast on here, it's going to be like right here, and then all of this is going to get hot, and then you're going to have this cold spot right in the middle, and that's going to cause you some problems. So just kind of a rule of thumb is try to cover the surface at least 2/3 full, if not fuller, and that's going to give you a whole lot better use with your stoneware. So I think, I'm looking at my notes here real quick, I think I got all my tips and tricks and ideas and everything to you. I appreciate you guys listening, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the party. Of course, if you have any questions about stoneware, drop it below. Happy cooking.